I tell you what, when I was getting ready earlier, because I'm going out later, I did this unintentionally. I'm really rocking a Lisa Frankenstein look today. And I do count that character as a big style icon. So, um, hi, I'm Mary. So, Frankenstein. A little late to the party. I did watch it like the day it came out, but I've been quite busy. Frankenstein is one of my all-time favorite stories. All adaptations, not maybe not all of them. Okay, a lot of the adaptations and the inspired bys are some of my favorite movies. Aforementioned Lisa Frankenstein from last year, loved it. Um, Edward Scissorhands, obviously, is a Frankenstein story, one of my favorite movies. The Hammer Horrors and the Universal Monsters, those versions are great, comfy, cozy, wintry watches, rainy day watches, I'd say. It rains a lot in those movies. Frankenweenie, there's many, many iterations of this story by the incredible Mary Shelley. Um, Mary Shelley is incidentally buried about 2 or 3 minutes like walk away from where I currently live. I have been down there often, and she is there with her parents, her son, and she's buried there with her husband Percy's heart. If you know the story, you know the story. Mary Shelley was she was an interesting person, and she brought us a an all-time just an all-time story that I think I'm very passionate about, but maybe there's one person that's more passionate. Maybe not just one person, I'm sure there's more than one. There is somebody who's definitely more passionate about this story, and that person is Guillermo del Toro. The passion behind this film. When someone says this has been a passion project, and you get to see the finished version, this is one of those times when you can tell. This is a story he has wanted to adapt since he was a child. You can tell. Just what a absolutely beautiful movie. Um, yeah, I think this really resonated with him, and you can tell that it's really nice to see. I watched the making of feature right afterwards. I recommend that if you're into finding out about the background stuff behind making a movie, especially a movie like this. It actually, I was in a very comfy, cozy position, and I'd had a little bit of a cry during this movie. I cried a lot, actually. I had my dog cuddled with me, and Netflix just, you know how it just starts playing something else afterwards, and I couldn't be bothered to get up, and I was like, oh, okay, it's the making of. Let's stick this on. Fascinating. If you want to give that a watch, it's just the way that everything comes together. And nowadays, with so many movies that are, all done with a green screen or all CGI or all AI. Sometimes it's all just robots, and we have this threat over our heads at the moment of AI just taking over. It's refreshing and very nice to see all of this craftsmanship that goes into making a movie like this. My one of my standout things from the making of was that they built that ship in a parking lot, um, and in a parking lot, very American right now, in a car park, and because they didn't have like a stage that was big enough for the vision that they had, so they built it outside. And yeah, just everything that went into this. I keep saying that, I start repeating myself. The costumes by Kate Hawley, who for me is one of my favorite costume designers. Beautiful to see all the like color palettes and things, and that leads us on to the performances. The lights just went. I don't know what happened there. Um, Obviously, we have Oscar Isaac. Oscar Isaac never misses for me. I think he's fantastic. I was very excited when I saw that he was cast for this role, actually. I've been excited ever since seeing his name connected to this. So, yeah, he's obviously amazing. I don't think I even need to, like, elaborate on that. um, Christian Convery, young Victor. I love this kid. He's a star in the making. I was a big fan of Sweet Tooth. That was a great TV show. I really enjoyed that. And seeing him in The Monkey earlier this year as well, just, I'm really excited to see him in things. I think he really holds his own. He's acting against like Charles Dance, which is pretty amazing. He's so young, and he really, I felt his pain and his grief. He's a good actor. I love him. A lot of people I've seen as a criticism for the movie is that this section of the movie felt a little sort of like gimmicky. I don't think gimmicky is the word I'm looking for, but maybe unnecessary. I disagree, but that could be because I love him, and I think I was also very excited to see him in this. Although I will agree, the story picks up for me with the monster's point of view. And that's not because the beginning isn't good. I enjoyed the beginning very, very much. And I liked seeing the backstory. I liked seeing Victor as a kid. I thought that was fun. I liked the idea of the family background and everything. And I loved that figuring out the mum. I was like, she looks just like Mia Goth. How funny. Just figuring that out was quite funny. Mia Goth is fantastic. I'll tell you what, I have not seen the X trilogy movies yet. They have been on my watch list for a long, long time, and I have pushed them to the top of my watch list after watching Frankenstein because she's great. I didn't know. I was in the dark on that one, and now I have seen the light. I will get onto those movies ASAP. Yeah, I thought she was fantastic, of course. And I think that leads us to Jacob Elordi. Wow. I feel like people are not shutting up about this, but this was a performance of a lifetime, I think. I mean, he's very young, so I'm assuming he's still going to have lots of amazing performances. But yeah, I haven't seen him in many things. I'm not someone who watched Euphoria or any of the kind of little rom-com-y things that he's maybe done. I did see him in Saltburn. I'm quite interested about Wuthering Heights. Interested. Can't say I'm super looking forward to it, and there's a lot of obviously like controversy around that, and his casting of Heathcliff, which yeah I agree with, but but I'm interested in seeing it anyway. That's a tangent. My thing, this is one of the first roles that I've really seen him in, where he's really shone. I don't think he did a lot in Saltburn, but that was a while ago that I watched that. Someone pointed this out, I can't remember exactly who it was, that there's something with his eyes and how he barely says a word, right? I think, especially at the beginning, he just repeats two names. Mostly he's just saying Victor and roaring a little bit. But there is so much humanity in his facial expressions, in his eyes, that you feel for him so much. Which is what you're meant to do, really. There is the scene that kind of got me when he's with the deer. He is reaching out with love and compassion towards this animal, and then the humans shoot at this animal. And yeah, I was a complete mess. That's when I started crying, and I don't think I stopped. Like halfway through the making of feature, I finally calmed myself down. It's just, yeah, he acted that amazingly. There's nothing I can say that people haven't already said about this. Somebody in the making of feature, I can't remember who it was now, it was probably someone super important, um, said that they believe Elordi was born to play this role. And it's really funny that he wasn't even the first choice, and how late on he ended up being cast. That, like, it almost wasn't him. Wasn't it meant to be Andrew Garfield? There's an alternative universe somewhere. And yeah, it was him, and I am so glad it was. I thought this movie was beautiful. I loved seeing this creation from Del Toro, and just his spin on a story that you can tell he's passionate about, as I've said, a story that I love, and a filmmaker that I also love. I've been excited for this movie for a long time. I had to sit on it for a while to figure out all my feelings. I haven't rewatched it yet. It's a very long movie for a rewatch, but I'm sure I will. It's a perfect for the weather we're having in England at the moment. Rainy, cold. It's a good rainy, cold movie. The only negative I have is that this wasn't given a longer cinema release. I'm sure people will agree. I think it was out for like 2 days near me, and I was working. I would pay to see this at the cinema, and I don't have a lot of money. But I would pay to see this one. Maybe on a Monday when the tickets are cheaper. Yeah, just absolutely. I thought it was, yeah. Let's hope Netflix do that. We never know. They could do. Yeah, so that's my thoughts on Frankenstein. Incredibly quotable as well. I actually made notes on some of my favorite quotes. Ones that, yeah, some were taken from the book, some were kind of taken and given a twist from the book, and some I think were completely just written for this. And yeah, I also did like just him stepping out at the end, and moving on, leaving behind what created him. And I know the whole thing is, cutting ties with this generational thing that's been happening and passing down, and just saying, I forgive you, and I'm gonna now go on and do my own thing. Yeah. It was great. I gave it a 5 stars on Letterboxd. I'll see if that changes at all on my first initial watch. I don't usually give things a 5 star on a first watch unless it's something that I really love. So, although I am quite generous with my stars. um, yeah, that's my thoughts on Frankenstein.